What's up, guys? It's Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got Fartcoin, ai16z, and aiXBT. These three cryptos have been pumping a lot over the last 24 hours. They're part of this like AI agents hype. I'm sure you're all wondering, what are these cryptos up to? How high are they going to go? Are they going to crash? Is this all kind of like a Ponzi? If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. With that being said, guys, do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's just my personal analysis of these cryptos, and I feel like I really need to emphasize that for this video. Everything you see in this video is not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion, what you think about these cryptos. Your analysis of these cryptos could be completely different than mine. And honestly, guys, as I've been saying, the more difference of opinion we have, the better traders, the better investors we're all going to become. So with that being said, let's start off with Fartcoin. To be honest, guys, I can't believe I'm saying this, but there's a little bit of a misunderstanding around Fartcoin. Of course, you guys have probably heard, all these so-called market experts will be like, oh, Fartcoin is rallying and that means that everything's going to crash and crypto's a bubble and blah, blah, blah. But what they don't really understand is the nuance. That Fartcoin is technically part of a Truth Terminal, which is like this AI agent on Solana that was like launching these meme coins. Of course, you guys are probably familiar with like Goatius Maximus, which we were covering here on the channel not long ago. Fartcoin is kind of like the second iteration of that, or another iteration of that. Honestly, guys, I'm not too deep into the weeds there. Point being is that that this is basically a token that is associated with Truth Terminal. There's nothing really specifically in terms of fundamentals. Let's say it's more just like, this whole thing around AI agent hype and a lot of excitement there. So with that being said, guys, that brings me over now to the chart for Fartcoin, which to be honest is looking pretty damn bullish. So let's just break things down here one point at a time. The starting point of this most recent move was quite clearly somewhere around 85 cents. We have a resistance level quite clearly somewhere around $1.25. And the difference between those two levels, of course, is around 40 cents. So all we have to do is take the resistance, we add the difference, and that gives us a target of around $1.65 for Fartcoin. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy. And of course, from the current level, you're looking at an upside of around 30%. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but it kind of makes sense when you remember that Fartcoin is on Solana, and Solana's ecosystem is going to be pumping a lot probably because of the FTX refunding. Of course, Sol has been pumping a lot over the last 24 hours. Well, I mean, like a lot, on a relative basis compared to what it was doing recently. But you're probably going to see a lot of inflows into Solana's ecosystem, and I would make the argument that Fartcoin is kind of like a liquidity indicator. Like it's an indicator of how much money is starting to flow into Solana's ecosystem. Of course, it does need to see at least one daily close above this resistance level to get a confirmation that we're going to go to that $1.65 target. But I do think that's going to be hit. Just do keep in mind that if there is a rejection, again, you guys saw here, there's a lot of profit taking. These like long wicks on top. We're on the daily chart here. God, by the way, guys, always on the daily chart. When you see these long wicks on top, that tells you that a lot of people are taking profit, and so there's a chance we'll see the same thing again. And if we do, then it could fall all the way back down to that $1 support level, which would be like a 30% correction. So the risk reward ratio is not looking too good. I mean, like again, 30% to the upside, and then potentially 30% to the downside, depending on when you guys see this video. Not too shabby, I would say, like at least for this type of crypto. With that being said, of course, you guys might have noticed we were using Bybit there. We have up to $60,000 in rewards on the Coin Bureau deals page for Bybit. We also have trading fee discounts on Blowfin, OKX, KuCoin, and Binance. As I've been saying, guys, and as I'm going to continue to say, those trading fee discounts will help you out a lot. They don't cost a single thing. There's no minimum usually, I don't think. Depends on the exchange, but like the barrier to entry is very low. Let's say it's completely free to sign up for these exchanges. Take advantage of those trading fee discounts. They're going to help you out a lot, especially if you're trading frequently, even with just a few $100s, a few $1,000s. Those trading fees will add up. I know this from experience. The exchange gets a new user, you get a trading fee discount, and we get a cut of basically your trading fees, and that's how the Coin Bureau makes money. And of course, I'm going to be saying that I think now in every single video, because of course as the crypto bull market comes on, and a lot of people are going to be questioning, why are these influencers talking about certain cryptos and blah blah blah, and like what's their agenda and where are they making their money. This is how we're making our money, and of course with the Coin Bureau Club as well, which I'll get to at the end of the video. So with that being said, guys, the next crypto on the list here is ai16z, which is of course like a play on the words of a16z, which is like this popular crypto investment firm, like VC firm. Basically, ai16z, to my understanding, is just like an AI agent hedge fund, and of course, it's a pretty nice narrative, but I'm personally not too sold on it. Again, this is just my personal opinion, but this is what this what this particular AI agent is all about is like this like hedge fund, basically. And to be honest, guys, when I was doing technical analysis here on AI16Z, I didn't really see anything too bullish. Like it's really hard, to be honest, at this stage. It's a fairly new crypto, so it's a little bit hard to kind of get a sense still. It's kind of been going up only basically like over the last, I don't know, like 2 weeks. So when it's in this kind of like price discovery mode, it's very hard to get a sense of like how high it could go exactly, because it's really hard to identify, where the resistance levels, where's the well, in this case the starting point is pretty obvious, somewhere around 75 cents for this most recent move. But the thing is, like, okay, is the resistance then at $1.75? Maybe. Could we already be hitting resistance here around $2.50? Is it possible that it'll go up to this $2.75 target and higher? The answer to all of the above is yes, which makes things a little bit frustrating. But in my view, I do think that AI16Z is probably going to top out somewhere here around $2.75, maybe in the next couple of days, and then maybe it'll correct back down to maybe $2 or something, and then keep heading higher. We just have to play things by ear, guys, and of course, everything here is on the daily chart, just to reiterate that. But yeah, it's an interesting one, but I don't think that there's too much hype going in this direction per se. But of course, it's a little bit different when it comes to aiXBT, which was created basically by this virtuals protocol, of course, which has been pumping a lot as well. And to my understanding, whereas AI16Z is like an AI agent hedge fund, aiXBT is like an AI agent like market analyst. So it's like basically posting all this stuff about like altcoins and like market insights and stuff like that, which is pretty interesting. It looks like it's like scanning like the internet and just like aggregating stuff, which is pretty neat. But the thing is, guys, like with these, I guess those of you who are following this AI agent will probably find out when you have just like an aggregator that's just like spitting out all this information. You don't really know. It's like, what do I do with this like fire hose of information? Like, there's been over 63,000 posts. And of course, not all of the cryptos it's posting about are legit or worth looking into. It's kind of just, I imagine, again, I don't know the technicals here, but I imagine it's just sourcing this information from news and whatever, which again, those of you who are really deep in the weeds of crypto news will know that it's not always accurate. It's not always up to date. A lot of the information that you're reading about here is kind of outdated. A great example here actually is Aave surpassing these deposits and stuff like that. If you actually go and look at DeFi Llama, you'll see that Aave actually broke this in mid-December. So this is 2-week-old information, but because it was reported in Coin Telegraph, there is it's being picked up by aiXBT, and it's like posting, and everyone's like, wow, how smart, how like useful. It's not. But I'm sure that there's some stuff in there that is, but I just want to give a little bit of context there, because it's a great narrative, but when you start digging into the details, you're like, well, this thing isn't necessarily all that useful. Granted that I haven't taken too close of a look into it, so if you start raging in the comments, just do keep in mind this is coming from someone who's just looking through these crypto projects more of a lens through the lens of price action than anything else. Okay, we're not doing fundamental analysis here. We're here just to look at the price action and say, where's this thing headed next? And in the case of aiXBT, the charts don't lie. It looks like it's breaking out, and it looks like it's going to keep heading higher. So don't worry, guys. I'm not fudding it. I'm not like blowing down these candles or anything like that. You can see that the starting point of this most recent move is quite clearly somewhere around 35 cents. The resistance level, I would say, is quite clearly somewhere around 60 cents. That gives us a difference between those two levels of around 25 cents, which of course all you need to do is add the difference to the resistance, and we get a target of 85 cents, which is roughly from the current price, I think around 35% to the upside. Not too shabby. It's currently breaking out of this very nice bull flag. Of course, those of you who are familiar with these patterns will immediately recognize this is a very obvious bull flag pattern. And I do think that aiXBT will hit that 85-cent target. It's a little bit of like front running ahead of like a $1 target, which I'm sure that everyone is watching. For those of you who got in early, congratulations. You're going to have a nice little 3x on your hands roughly from the start of this move. But for everyone else, I mean, like, if you're trading, then yeah, like, pretty good ROI here potentially. 2-to-1. It could fall down to this 50-cent support level, but it quite clearly seems to be breaking out. The crypto market's breaking out. So again, the risks are skewed to the upside, as I've been saying. So 35% to the upside on this AI agent crypto, not too shabby, especially since it's a really hot narrative right now. Not something I would trade personally, but if you're looking for like a pretty decent trade, this is potentially one to consider. I guess I'll just like leave it at that. And of course, guys, that brings me to the end here, to the Coin Bureau Club, which I'm going to be shilling at the end of every single video. That's where we do deep dives into promising small cap altcoins. To be honest, we haven't done a deep dive into any AI agent cryptos. Maybe that's something we'll do in next week's poll. Who knows? Little spoiler spoiler for those of you who made it this far. Uh, well, I guess I'll have a talk with Guy there, who's a big fan of AI agents. But anyways, guys, we do deep dives into small cap altcoins, like actual like reviews, the same way we do on the main channel. You know, it's like 20-minute style, like 25 minutes, Netflix style, like deep dive into these small cap altcoins. The way that we pick these altcoins is we basically have a poll every single week. The altcoins in those polls are altcoins that we find during our research, as well as altcoins that our members find during their research. You know, a lot of our members are really smart people. You know, I would say a few of them probably much smarter than I am, to be honest. But you know, I guess it's my full-time job to do this, which is where, you know, all these insights come from. I truly believe that if more people had the time, there would be more people like me. But you know, I guess I'm fortunate enough to have this as my full-time job. Anyways, guys, that ties, I guess, quite nicely into the research feed, where I'm posting insights like these every single day, like the alpha I'm sharing at the end of these videos. And of course, our team members, other members of the research team, are sharing their insights as well. We showcase our personal crypto portfolios as well as the cryptos that we're watching. We have exclusive deals on like crypto analytics platforms that we had to kind of negotiate pretty hardly for. And we also have a members Discord where you can ask us questions and kind of join the community. And we've got a couple thousand people in there now, I think. And it's really popping off, guys. So, you know, it's definitely the place to be for this bull market, at least in my opinion. With that being said, if you made it this far, you know, you've put up with my rambling and my fudding of AI agents, then you deserve some. Then chances are that you're on the same page and you deserve even more fun. But in all seriousness, guys, this was a really interesting headline that caught my eye, basically from this Dragonfly, another kind of like a pretty big crypto VC. They basically said that meme coins are losing market share to AI coins. And what does that tell you guys? That tells me that meme coins and AI agent coins are basically the same thing. You know, most of these don't really have any meaningful utility, I would say. You know, it's to be honest, even something like this aiXBT, it reminds me of another meme coin that I held. Some members of the Coin Bureau Club will know. I used to have a meme coin called Fake AI, and they basically had like an AI, like a deep fake AI image generator. And you say, oh, like, well, that's not too bad. I mean, that's what got me drawn into the meme coin, right? It's like, not only is it a meme coin, but it has a little bit of a utility here, eh? And I made a pretty decent gain on that, but of course, then it just like collapsed, and I don't think it's going to be, you know, some billion dollar you know, crypto. But granted that a lot of these AI agents are becoming very big, but when I see something like aiXBT, it just reminds me of this like fake AI meme coin that I aped into and managed to make a little bit of money. But it's not, but you know, back then, of course, that like AI was the big thing. Now we're like kind of pivoting to AI agents, which I would argue is kind of like a blend between meme coins and AI. And I don't think this is something that's going to last. And even these Dragonfly VC was saying it'll die off eventually. But of course, they believe it's going to become very big in 2025. I think so as well. I think there's going to be, you know, probably a lot more rallies to be had. But it's not a narrative that I'm betting on personally at this stage. You guys always have to remember, when it comes to crypto, you can't be FOMOing into what's pumping today. You have to think about what are the cryptos, what are the narratives that will be pumping tomorrow. Of course, I can't predict that with 100% accuracy. Nobody can. But what I can say with relative certainty is that the narratives that are big today will not be big tomorrow. Meme coins being a great example, and I think AI agents are going to be following in those footsteps. And I do think that especially once we see changes in crypto regulations in the U.S., and we're going to see all these altcoins, you know, that traditionally were held back by regulations, they're going to be announcing all these different types of tokenomics and business models and whatever, and people will realize, wait a minute, there's actually utility now in altcoins, you know, for the first time ever, potentially, in some cases, right? So this is like the area that I'm watching. I wouldn't get too caught up in this AI agent hype. It doesn't mean that these cryptos aren't going to pump. As I was just showing you, I do think that some of these are going to do quite well in the next couple of weeks. Of course, none of these targets here are cycle tops or anything. It's just for over the next few days and weeks. But just do keep in mind that, you know, when everyone is paying attention to something, you should probably be looking in the other direction, so to speak. And so, you know, it can be difficult to do at times. I know that from experience. But trust me when I say that it'll help you. It'll save you a lot of money in the long run. Anyways, guys, if you did make it this far, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.